It's 3:30 in the morning. I wake up and I can't get back to sleep. I feel terrible. My chest feels tight. It feels hard to breathe. My muscles are so tight, there's a pain at the back of my rib cage over my lungs. Even worse, what was happening in my head. It's not that I was imagining horrible things. It was that my thoughts were completely out of control, just flitting from one unformed thought to another in rapid succession, without pause, irrational, no solutions. Come to think of it, I had no idea what I was thinking or what I was afraid of. But I've learned that mood follows action. So I got up and I made myself a warm, soothing green tea, and I went to sit on the porch to gaze at the beautiful mountains towering in front of me, glowing in the light of the full moon. They were awe-inspiring and very grounding. I felt tiny and humbled by the power and beauty of nature, and my mind slowed down. Now I could start to breathe and begin to relax. My little dachshunds came to snuggle under the warm blanket with me as my whole mood started to change, going from confused and out of control to calmer and grateful. Stress. It's a terrible, terrible feeling. It's stifling and claustrophobic. You feel you can't get out, can't escape it. And when your emotions are high, your ability to think is very low. And when you live in a constant state of stress, even if it's low, you're releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, and that takes a toll on your health. It depresses your immune system, and your body frequency dives down below 200 hertz as you fall into the crippling emotions of pride, anger, fear, grief, guilt, shame, and powerlessness. But how do you get out? The first strategy I want to share with you is the power to reframe. Reframing is the ability to alter the way you interpret a situation so you can see it in a more constructive and manageable light. I want you to reframe the word stress and call it pressure. And here's why that works. Have you ever heard someone say they perform well under pressure? You rarely hear someone say they do better when stressed. Stress is almost always interpreted as negative and beyond your control, while pressure is something you can look at more objectively. Let's look at a couple of ways you can control the pressure in your life, because that's where you have to start. And you can't focus on a situation, you have to go bigger. For example, your job or career. If you want no stress or pressure, then choose a job or career that is steady and predictable, that you can leave at 5 p.m. and not have to think about again until you turn up to work again the next day. This is the opposite of being an owner, a manager, or an entrepreneur. Another thing you can do is choose friends who are easygoing and not highly ambitious, because ambition means growth and uncertainty, effort, preoccupation, passion, and pressure. So I'm the opposite of those. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to make a difference on a large scale. I play on the public stage, I have a high spirit, and I'm attracted to high-spirited people. And I never stop thinking of what more I can do. Can you see how this works? You have to know what your comfort levels are and decide how much pressure you're willing to take to have the life that you want. Or you need to adjust your goals accordingly. When people tell me their goals, I often say, careful what you wish for, because most of us have no idea what we're signing up for. When I came to America in 1993 to co-create a revolutionary program in the horse industry and ended up building an international business, I had no idea what that would entail. But I used the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So I started at the toenail and I never looked at the elephant, or I probably would never have continued. But what I did know about myself is that I'm strong, driven, capable, and resourceful. When I see a problem, I'm triggered to find a solution, and it's actually an exciting and interesting feeling. Somehow I was destined to live a life of pressure just by who I am. The key then lay in managing it. First of all, have a release valve. Every pressure cooker has a release valve that lets off steam and reduces the pressure. It's really important to have that. You need to know what calms you, what centers you, what helps you recover and restore. Without that, you're going to explode or implode, and it's not if, it's when. The story I told you earlier about sitting on the porch in front of the mountains was how I calmed down and restored my mental and emotional balance that night. But it's not how I do it every day. In fact, I have a few strategies. Cooking, teaching, gratitude, those all work to calm me down. Cooking is very relaxing for me. I find I can't think of anything else when I'm doing that. I love cooking for myself and also for my friends and family. And then teaching, I find that really fulfilling. It takes my energy and emotional frequency to high levels immediately, as I love the feeling of empowering others. In fact, when I was feeling the pressure of my divorce, I didn't have a calm and focused mental state to be able to ride and train my horses, but I could teach. And then gratitude. This is the most powerful antidote to negativity, anxiety, and stress. Think of the things that you're grateful for, and you quickly move into a much more positive and tranquil state. I put effort into feeling grateful for all kinds of things throughout the day, and I make sure that my last thoughts before going to sleep are about what I'm grateful for that day. So what are your top 3 valves? You need to know them. And then in the next video, I want to tell you a touching story about loss and purpose.